What's up and welcome, guys, to One Oak Mentoring, the #1 mentoring program service, virtual mentoring program service entity of all times, right? But y'all gotta know that by now, right, man? It's such a beautiful day, right? Today, man, we're gonna be doing another Teen Tales, and I want to reiterate, these Teen Tales is not to glorify anything, but it's just kind of tell you, kind of just to make me more relatable. I've been a teenager, I've been in situations, and things like that. So I'm not better than you guys. I just got the wisdom and the experience. Okay. So if any of these teen tales like come off the wrong way, don't think I'm trying to glorify it. Okay. But this story right here is definitely nothing to glorify, man. This is actually a crazy story. So, let's see the name of this story. We're gonna call this Buck, Brock, and Billy Bob, right? So y'all probably thinking like, what in the world is this dude talking about, right? I'm gonna get to it, okay? So back when I was I had to be like 16 at this time, right? So I had a job at Taco Bell, you know what I mean? And at this time, if you had like strict parents or something like that, and you had a job, what you were telling me is, you had to work later than you actually had to, right? Being sneaky and conniving, So my mom would be like, hey, what time you getting off work tonight? And I'd be like, oh man, I gotta work all the way to 11 tonight. And really I got off at like, 5 or 6, right? But I said 11 and then, kind of clean up. Well, I kind of try to stretch so I can stay out to 12 or a little bit more. But anyway, that's besides the point, right? So, man, the reason why I say that is because I had plans not really plans, but I was gonna go and hang out before I actually went home. So this day, man, I'm getting off work. I don't know if I said it, but yeah, I had a job at Taco Bell. I'm getting off work, and my cousin and my homeboy, they come by to pick me up, and we just gonna, ride around or find something to get into. You know how teenagers are, man. Normal teenager stuff, right? So, okay, so man, we ride around, had a good time or whatever, and so now it's time to bring me back to my car, at Taco Bell, right? So, we riding, man, and we pull into the entrance of Taco Bell, right? And so there was this car. I knew it was a Honda. I can't remember what color it was, but it was like a Honda off to the left or whatever. So we just seen it. I kind of just glanced over like that. But I noticed that my cousin and my homeboy, now my cousin's driving, my homeboy's in the back, right? They kind of like give him more of a mean mug. Like they like, like they mean mugging, like a real mean mug, like what you want to do type look to the dudes, right? Me, I just kind of glanced over there, but I'm thinking in my mind, like, why y'all mean mugging this dude? But I didn't say anything. I mean, it really didn't matter. I mean, it wasn't me, right? So, but let me give you the backdrop to this. Now, my cousin and my friend, at this point in time, they had been hanging more on like the street or the block, you know what I mean? So maybe they started to like pick up a lot of traits and energy, from being on the street and being on the block, you know what I'm saying? Like more than I was at that time, right? So they just grill them. I don't know if I don't even think these dudes did anything to make them grill them, right? But they just grilled them, gave them this real aggressive, like, I wish you would kind of like stare, right? So I'm not thinking anything about it. They pulling up about to take me to my car. So that's all I got in my mind. So, we pull in the parking spot, right? And so, now we're looking back. So the Honda's kind of behind us now. So we're like parked, right? But we like looking back, right? And so, my boy who was in the back, I don't know what was really going on with him that day, but he opened up the door and kind of like, grilled him. I want to say he said something, but I really can't remember. But he opened up the door, was kind of like looking at him, kind of like grilling him, like, who are y'all to be grilling us back? Like, that's the type of look he was looking like, man, who are y'all? And it was 3 white guys, right? I'm about to describe them to y'all, right? So now, okay, pause the story right there, right? So my friend, he didn't hop out the car. He like opened the door and kind of like grilled him, like to keep like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? What's up, But now, let me give you a description. Now, when I look into this car, like why I got the name Billy Bob, Buck, and Brock, right? It's because the dude that was driving was like this big, heavy dude, like not really muscular, but like a big, heavy dude. He had like a bald head, right? And he had on like this like a black shirt, and he had this like crazy look in his eye, right? right? So the reason why he was looking crazy is because when they was just sitting there, he was just like had his hands on the steering wheel, like both of them like that, right? You know, looking back at us, right? That's Billy Bob, the big dude. Now, Brock is the one that was sitting next to him, right? You know, Brock's kind of like a medium build, you know, but he got a mean look on his face too. You know. Now, Buck is a skinnier one, right? Now he's in the back seat, right? So let's get back to the story. So when my boy opened the door and kind of grill the guys, you know, the skinny dude who I call Buck, he hops out the car, right? Now when Buck hops out the car, man, I remember to this day, you know, he had like this, you know, he wasn't like all the way receding, but he was like kind of receding kind of right here a little bit, but he still had this long hair, right? And he had on overalls, right? No shirt under it, right? And, you know, even though he was skinny, like you could tell like he was like ripped a little bit. So I'm like, okay, all right. So now when I see this interaction, or it's not really an interaction, like I guess somebody like a stare off, right? Which now that I think back, I think my homeboy did say something to him, because how Buck replied, he was like, "What?" And when all this was over, me and my boy who was in the back, you know, we some jokesters, man, so we make all kind of stuff funny. So I don't know if y'all remember like Lil Jon, you know, well, that's probably way before your time, but he used to have this saying, like, you know, he'd be like, "What? Okay." You know, so we were like always just like joke about it, like, you know, like the dude was like yelling like Lil Jon, you know, after everything was going on, after, you know, that's when we found it funny, right? So when Buck says, you know, "What?" and then like he like starts coming towards the car, right? So I mean, I understand this is probably not the great situation, but I'm like, you know, I mean, I'm not really nervous, you know, yet, you know what I mean? I should have been, but I really wasn't nervous, right? But this is what made me nervous. When I seen Buck start getting closer to the vehicle, you know, I told you he had like overalls on, right? And no shirt under it, right? Man, this dude had one of the biggest swastika tattoos on his chest that I had ever seen in my life, right? So if y'all don't know what a swastika is, that's that little sign, you know, that the Nazis have, you know, and stuff like that. So in my mind, okay, now the danger is setting in. I'm like, okay, whoa. Now I've known, you know, racist people. You know, there's different levels of racists. You know, they're just ignorant racists. You know, people that just want to crack jokes type racists. But, you know, when I see a swastika, man, that is like the ultimate level of racism to me. That's like, man, when I put a tattoo of swastika on me, that means I don't mind killing anybody that's not my race or anybody that's not white, right? So when I see this swastika, I'm like, oh boy. And then the closer he's getting, man, the more stern his face is getting, right? Now Billy Bob and Brock, they still in the car, right? Buck's coming over us. Buck is coming over to us, right? So even though I see the swastika, right, I know it's dangerous. So I'm like at a more heightened level of danger, or heightened level of aware of danger, if that sounds right. I'm still like, well, you know, hey, I wasn't grilling the dude. You know, if my homeboys, they want to grill him, you know, hey, man, they, you know, that's just how I was thinking. I felt like I was excluded in this situation because really I didn't start it, right? So I was like, hey, I didn't start it. So, you know, I'm just, you know. So I see him, he started coming. So then he gets to my boy's side of the door, right? So my boy is behind my cousin who's the driver. So my boy is back there. So Buck comes up to his door, right? The dude Buck comes up to his door, right? My homeboy locks the door and like hops all the way, like in one hop. Like, you know, the car really wasn't that big, but he was just sitting and he just like hopped all the way like behind me, right? Okay, now I'm like, oh, dang, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so he comes around to this side. Now he's on my side, right? So now I'm like, well, even though I don't feel like I'm involved, I think it'd be a smart idea for me to just go ahead and lock this door, man. So I'm locking it. So I didn't even look at him. I just locked the door, right? So I'm just sitting there. He come over there and he pulling the handle, pulling my handle. He go back, pulling my homeboy handle. Now my cousin, I don't know, he was just like kind of shocked, like, man, what's going on, right? And so Buck goes behind Buck goes behind my cousin's car, right? And man, he kicked that car so hard. It was like, man, it was like somebody like, you know, the car was small, right? You know what I mean? So when he kicked it, it just like felt like he was like a punt, like he punted the car, like, boo, like he punted the car, man. That's how much of an impact we felt from that kick. So I'm like, man, this dude gotta be kind of strong, man. Like he just kicked it. I'm talking about, man, he kicked the, we felt the impact, man. It was like, oh man, like it was crazy. So when he kicked the field goal with my cousin's car, whoo, or he punted it, whoo, right? It clicked in my homeboy's mind. He was like, hey man, take off, right? So I guess my cousin like snapped out of it and he was like, okay. So he reversed. Well, you know, Buck was out of the way, you know, but he reversed and he took off, right? So I looked in the rear view, Buck went back and jumped in the car with Brock and Billy Bob, right? So I'm like, oh man. So it looked like they was kind of like about to come after us, you know what I mean? So we kind of, my cousin, he like turned out real quick, you know, but they didn't turn out, you know, behind us or anything like that, man. And so, but my whole thing is like, my car is still at Taco Bell. How am I supposed to get my car? So I'm really nervous about going back, you know what I mean? So man, we riding around, you know, we calling people, oh man, this happened, this and that, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is crazy, right? So when they taking me back to my car, like I'm really nervous. Like I'm looking around like, well, I hope Buck or Billy Bob, man. Them some girl. Listen, man, I ain't no scary dude like that, but I do know if you are that dedicated to tattoo a swastika on your body, right? Your mind frame is hatred. That means you don't mind killing nobody in broad day, none of that, right? So you're on a whole different level of danger than I am, you know? So, yeah. But yeah, man, we got back to Taco Bell, you know, Buck and Billy Bob and them, you know, they wasn't there, you know, man. So I kind of like, I told them to pull like, you know, right beside my car so I can get in my car as fast as I can, right? But yeah, man, all right, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You know, and I never seen Buck or Billy Bob up there, you know, because I work, you know, at the Taco Bell, so I was still kind of nervous about, oh man, I hope I don't see these dudes up there, but I never seen those dudes again, man. But y'all guys just be careful, man. Don't let your friends get you in any kind of trouble. You know, that's pretty much it, man. Y'all be respectful to people, and people will respect you back. Y'all have a great day, man. This is One Oak, and I'm out.